Playing small is no longer an option for you. I'm going to encourage you to play out, play big, play awesome. Set your standards high and go for it. But I'm going to show you how. Because sometimes some of us hide. We don't play big because we're afraid of failing. Some of us don't play big because we're afraid of succeeding in case other people don't like us. But frequently we hide too often. How many of you, if you're honest, wouldn't dare put your hand up in class and ask for help? You wouldn't dare stand up to do an assembly from the front of the class, even though you've got something worth sharing. How many of you are afraid to even try? I would love you to remove that 3 little letter word from your vocabulary and remove the word try. And instead of saying, I'll try, just do or do not. But if you don't, make sure it's for a good reason, not just because you're scared. Grab the opportunity and go for it. Stop playing small, play big. Because if you play small, typically you don't get the opportunities that other people who play big get. Not only that, but it numbs you. It makes you procrastinate and not take action. It's all about the action you take when you play big. Let me be honest with you, if I may. To my shame, you're looking at someone who, up until the age of 30, would strive for and achieve nothing at all. I mean nothing at all of any significance whatsoever. And yet, at the age of 30, I woke up. I started believing the top achievers that I was interviewing for my research. I started to step up, play big. I started to take action. Did I fail? Yes, I failed occasionally. But you know what? You still fail when you play small. So why don't we play big and succeed big occasionally and fail occasionally, rather than play small and fail occasionally and get small? My friends, you deserve to play big. So rather than do nothing for 30 years like me, start stepping up now. Press the button on your life that will make you have that shift of thinking and behaviour. Be the person you need to be, not the person you think you have to be to fit in and hide. Be proactive, stop being reactive. Let me give you another personal example of being proactive rather than reactive. I used to be terrified of speaking in public. Giving a presentation would have terrified me to my core when I was a student in school. And yet at the age of 30, I realised that to share my research, I had to learn how to communicate. Then I saw an advert in the newspaper for public speaking class at college, night school. The thought of going back to school terrified me to my core, but I knew that I had a reason why I must learn to present. So I signed up to the advert, I went to the course, and because I made it fun and because I needed it so badly, I did a course that should have taken 7 years inside 2 years with the best grades the college had ever seen on that course. I smashed it because I was proactive. My friends, be proactive. Don't live your life by other people's standards. Set your standards high. When I was in school, I set my standards low. I was actually better than I allowed myself to be. Because of that, I left school with average grades and had a very average young adult life. I've already said at the age of 30, woke up, things changed. Now, award-winning international professional speaker, best-selling Amazon author, ran 4 businesses, BBC radio show, YouTube channel with over 200 videos on. I could go on and on and on and on, but I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying to impress upon you that when you set your standards and you live the life that you want and stop living your life the way other people want you to, you tend to become more effective. Let me tell you some true stories of people just like you who have used this technique. I was working in a high school in Manchester, and these very, very tall, skinny lads with bubble coats and baseball caps came sidling up to me afterwards, walking like this, and they went, "Hey, it's all right for you saying like this, we can't do that." Anyway, do you know what they did? They wrapped their revision and they got a GCSE in maths after being told they never stood a chance. All they did was grime and wrap their revision. They did it, they took action, they set their own standards and they got a result. Let me give you another example. How about the bully in school? The big lad who used to strike fear into the corridors of the high school. He had an epiphany moment in one of my sessions. And he said, so how can I stop being who I am? I said, is this who you are? Are you a thug? Are you a bully? And he went, no. I said, well, why do you feel the need to be in school? He said, I suppose it's to keep people away from finding out who I am. I said, who are you? And after several coaching questions, it transpires this lad was a leader. He was a leader. He was actually very courageous, but he was pushing people away from finding out who he really was through being a bully. Eventually, within one term, this lad was helping the teachers control behaviour on the corridors and in the classroom. He didn't use violence, but he used his reputation to be the leader rather than the bully. What could you do? Here's something you can try. Maybe there's a teacher or another student that one day you did something you shouldn't have done, or said something you shouldn't have done to. How about you go and find them, track them down and be the adult and actually say, sorry. Stop playing small, play big. Be the person you need to be, you have to be, and stop playing small. The reason people play small is because they're desperately trying to be liked. They're clawing at any kind of social acceptance. That's why you see people on social media going, hello, aren't I gorgeous? Only to rock in a corner crying if 100 people don't like their photograph. Really? How about you be different? Stop trying to be liked and instead seek to be trusted by your actions and behaviours. You see, if you're trusted, you get respect. Anyone who just tries to be liked, well, you're laying yourself open for a life of disappointment. You see, like doesn't put food on your table. Trust and respect gets you the goals you deserve. Stop playing small. It's no longer an option. Let me give you one final example of someone who did not play small. His name was John. We nicknamed him Johnny B because of his surname being Brooks. Johnny B, well, he was a grey kid. He wasn't outstanding at anything. He was just there. He was a nice lad, don't get me wrong, but nothing special. And I used to be in a band. I used to play keyboards in a band. My mate Mark was the lead singer. He was the pretty boy. He was good. My mate Andy, he was a drummer, guitarist and songwriter. He's outstanding. He had more talent in his little fingernail than Ed Sheeran's got in his whole body. I used to play keyboards and another mate of mine, Paul, played lead guitar. He was good. Johnny Brooks used to come and watch us rehearse in a church hall in Wednesbury in the Black Country, and we would sort of crank the amplifiers up to 10 and just thrash it out. And Johnny Brooks used to say to Andy, who was one of his best mates, Andy, I'm going to be a rock star. Andy said, you're not going to be a rock star, I'm going to be the rock star. And we were going, yeah, Andy's going to be the rock star because he was the talented one. Johnny said, no, I'm going to be the rock star. And he says, no, I'm going to be the rock star. At weekends we would play football in the park. We always wondered why Johnny B never came and played football in the park. And then when he finished school, we found out, because he was nowhere to be found. We thought something had happened. What had happened was that while we were in the park playing football, Johnny B got on the bus. Johnny B got on the bus. He went into the local city centre and hung outside recording studios where the big bands of the time used to rehearse for their albums, recordings and world tours. Johnny B used to get in with the bands, humping the equipment on and off the vans into the studio. And eventually they said, you don't even work here. Why are you helping us? Johnny B said, well, if I help you, you'll help me. You'll answer my questions about the music industry. I want to be a rock star. And they used to laugh at him. Apart from one band, a rock band from Wolverhampton. Ask your parents about them. They were called Magnum, and I don't mean the ice cream. Johnny B was so helpful to them that one of these bands, the Magnum rock band, they said, we're going on a world tour. We need stage crew. Do you want to come? He went, yeah. He met up with two lads from Manchester, one from Liverpool. They started a little band. The next year, they did a world tour supporting a major rock band. They went on to be the best-selling album band across the whole of Europe in the 1980s. The band was called the Charlatans. Johnny B was their drummer. You see, when Andy and I were in the park playing football, Johnny B got on the bus. He didn't play small. He played big. He took the action that was needed. Question is, what action do you need to take to play big? Are you in the park? Or are you on the bus?